Hello and welcome back to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name is Caleb and I am the host, and joining me again and actually moving forward here will be the new co-host, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Caitlin's back.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
And she's putting up with me and it's working and she actually wants to return to record these things. So it's worked out.
Yeah. I'm super excited to be back.
Good. And we'll keep doing this as long as you want to.
Love it. I can't wait.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been fun recording together. And again, we haven't, run into any issues doing it so far. So yeah, we're still married. So great to have Miss Caitlin back joining us today and just talking about all the things Disney. And there's a lot to talk about.
Yes.
There's a lot of news. And
we got a fun episode today, though.
Yeah, it is going to be fun. We're actually going to talk about our top 5 favorite Disney attractions each.
Yes.
And there's going to be a little twist to that game. So we'll talk about it later. But to start off, we have to kind of dive into that Disney news. But, I mean, to start off, I wish I was at Disney this entire last week because we've returned back to normal life. And with normal life comes the stresses of normal things. And I've been dealing with that hive issue, remember? And yeah, we got some medicine to hopefully help with some stuff. So
hoping it's going to get better.
Yeah.
But,
it's
the
not
normal
fun.
The normal things.
Yeah, it's really not fun. So hoping I can kick this weird health thing. But other than that, Disney's a good distraction in the meantime. So anyways, let's talk about the news.
Let's do it.
All right, first up, we've got a little bit of refurbishment news. So update coming for a few attractions. Starting off is Pirates of the Caribbean, a household favorite of ours, has actually just closed for refurbishment on March 14th. And we'll discuss as to why it closed down in a little bit, but it is expected to return in the summer, most likely end of May, early June. And that, again, teaser kind of aligns perfectly with the return of Fantasmic. So it does have something to do with that. But yeah, what else is closing?
Yes. So in addition to Pirates closing, Blue Bayou is actually going to be closing on April 21st. It looks kind of strange right now with people eating there with Pirates closed.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure if the water's strained inside.
Well, there's construction walls blocking your view.
Oh, there is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that'll be good because I couldn't imagine.
It's still weird. I mean, it's not the idyllic seeing boats pass by right now.
No.
There's giant greenish blue walls blocking the view.
And I'm wondering if they're still having the soundtrack.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Instead of
I don't
drills.
know. I don't know.
I don't know. It's not worth, I'd argue it's not worth the money now because part of the reason why you pay $50-$60 a plate is for that view.
And you're wanting to see all the boats go by.
Yeah.
And
it's not ideal. But so yeah, I mean, if you're planning a trip before summer, essentially before June, I would maybe skip on a Blue Bayou because you're not getting the full experience.
Yeah.
And then, so Blue Bayou's closing. Another couple attractions are closing. Mater's Junkyard Jamboree and Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters will be closing for refurb sometime in April. No specific date? Is that right?
No date yet, just announcing they're closing in April.
Okay, so a few attractions closing. Again, springtime, this is normal. They're kind of prepping for, as it is a busy time with spring breaks happening, but they do want the park looking fresh for the summer, which is the busiest time of year.
Yeah, but I would say one thing that is primarily new is the construction that they're doing outside of Pirates.
Yeah, so that does kind of lead into the next news item, and it does have to do with Pirates closing, and that is they're extending the walkway surrounding Pirates to help with crowd flow.
Yeah, I'm very curious about this one.
Yeah, so all we've heard, so there's a rumor going around that there is flattening occurring. That's kind of a vague whatever. What is confirmed, though, from Disney is that they are adding green space and some trees around this walkway. Not entirely sure how that helps with crowd flow. I know they need to keep looking pretty.
Yeah.
They don't want it looking like a concrete jungle, but curious to see how they pull that off while also increasing crowd flow. Rumor is they're going to take some of the steps out to kind of flatten it, make it more of a flat space right there in front of Pirates.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine they get rid of all of it because that does help with Fantasmic viewing. There's a reason why it's tiered right there.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. I've seen a couple people mention that they think they're going to do something with the bridge over Pirates.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening. Again, if you're over in front of, the French Market area where there's those trees, I don't know if they're doing something with those, getting rid of those so there's more standing room.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then again, if they're adding more greenery,
Yeah,
I don't know where. Yeah.
Removing and adding, but just maybe in a more...
In just different locations.
Sure, I can see that.
Yeah, because again, as of now, it's just all stroller parking.
Yeah.
And...
It gets packed.
Yeah.
Especially, with Fantasmic, it is
it's packed.
disaster.
Yeah. So I'm very curious on what that's going to look like.
Yeah. So that is, I think, the primary reason why Fantasmic is returning so late, not returning with World of Color and the Electrical Light Parade. This is because they need to do some expansion work before they open the show.
Main Street Electrical
Main
Parade.
Street Electrical Parade. Gosh, dang it. I can never get the name right. And I've seen it a million times. Anyways, so that is some refurbishment news and some extension, some construction work happening in front of Pirates.
Next up, we have some new merch. It is the Mickey Mouse main attraction, and I believe that they are going to be doing different rides, but currently they are doing Space Mountain. So right now they're including a new line of merchandise that has a new set of ears, a pin, and a plush, all themed Space Mountain, which everyone is freaking out about online, especially the ears. Yeah,
I know things went quick in the stores, and so it's the new line Mickey Mouse main attraction, which is new, right?
Yeah.
So the first one, Space Mountain, I'm assuming they'll feature new attractions in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks interesting. I mean, the ears are kind of weird. The plush looks cool. Mm-hmm. The pin, I can see this being a new collector's thing.
Yeah, I think if you're obsessed with the ride, I think you're going to love it. Like right when I saw the Space Mountain one come out, I'm so excited for Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Like if they do that, I would love that.
Sure.
So.
No, yeah, it's so new merch.
Next up, we have some more exciting news. We have a new series coming to Disney Plus called Sketchbook. This is going to be coming out on April 27th, and it's basically just going to be going over what it looks like for animators and how they create characters, their stories behind it, and basically how they bring all the Disney characters to life. So I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, no, it looks good. We saw the trailer just actually before we started recording.
Yeah.
And it looks fun. I like behind the scenes content. We loved the behind the attraction.
Oh, love that one.
That was great. Amazing. Actually, we still have not seen the last episode because this is the reason why we didn't watch it.
Oh, right.
Is because, it spoiled some major plot points essentially in Rise. So people were like, if you have not ridden that ride yet, do not watch that last episode. So we still, I think episode 10 is we're still haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, that's a fantastic, it's not behind the attraction. I'm sorry. It's the Imagineering show.
Yes.
No, behind the attraction was this kind of like quirky, felt very Discovery Channel. That was different. That was fun.
Right.
It was not the style I like. I kind of like a more serious. It was kind of like a fun, like, ooh, I don't know.
It was good. And the Imagineering one was better.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Imagineering, that's the one I was talking about. So yeah, I like the behind the scenes stuff. So this looks fun. And to see the animation process.
Yeah, because we love doing the animation at the parks.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
So this is like the real deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyways, Sketchbook coming April 27th. Next up, we have some kind of controversial news, and that is a new DVC tower is coming to the Polynesian Resort over in Walt Disney World. Now, why this is controversial is interesting. People are not a fan of the design of this new DVC tower, and it does look, they're accusing it of looking like a Holiday Inn. I think that is an exaggeration, in my personal opinion. Does not look anything like a Holiday Inn.
No.
I think the point they're trying to make is it looks like a normal hotel, maybe like a kind of, it looks like a luxury tower hotel you'd find in a major city. So if you were in LA, if you were in DC, if you're in Chicago, it does have that look of just a massive, pretty looking hotel.
Yeah.
It doesn't scream Disney. There's not giant theming around it. Especially at the Polynesian, there is a stark contrast between this design and the Polynesian bungalows, the Polynesian buildings themselves. So I can see both sides of the argument. I can see it is not overly themed and doesn't scream Disney, and this is on a Disney property. And I also see the other argument that it's a good-looking hotel and let's get this right, it's called Disney Vacation Club. This is a timeshare program. So it looks like a very fancy timeshare hotel. So I don't know. I mean, I'm in the middle of it. I'm kind of neutral. Yeah, it's not overly themed, but we're also giant fans of Gran Destino, and that thing is not themed very strongly to Disney, I guess. It's not screaming Disney.
No.
And we're huge fans of it. So
yeah, I guess, I feel like I have more of an unpopular opinion. I think it looks good.
Yeah.
The first thing, again, it doesn't scream Disney, but I think it's one of those things where, we've seen the outside of the building. We have no idea what they're going to do on the inside.
Sure.
Disney doesn't normally do things poorly. So on the inside, it could be a more modern Polynesian look. And it could be, who knows? For example, the Grand Casino, that place is massive. And on the inside, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And there's little, it's not like
Subtle.
Mickey's jumping out at you, which we loved. It's just, I don't know. It was just really beautiful inside. So I can see them doing kind of a similar thing since the Grand Casino Tower is a newer hotel. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do inside just because they just did a renovation. Did they do Moana rooms or something?
At Polynesia?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so, it could be that. I have no idea. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So anyways, it looks like a nice hotel. May not be up your alley and screaming Disney, but there's always art of animation, stuff like that for you. So anyways, DVC Tower coming to Polynesian. I think it's supposed to open in the next few years, if I'm not mistaken, 2024, 25?
Something like that.
Yeah. So anyways, a new controversial tower coming to the Polynesian Resort. Alrighty, and our final news story is another hotel kind of news item, and that is a rumored Toy Story hotel is coming to Disneyland, or at one point coming to Disneyland. So social media kind of went crazy when some people think it's fake, some think it's real, some leaked concept art for a new Toy Story hotel that was supposed to replace the Paradise Pier Hotel over by California Adventure. Mm-hmm. So it's overlooking the park, and it's an old hotel. It needs some kind of refresh, and would not surprise me if they did announce a refresh, but apparently this concept art was made pre-pandemic, and again, rumor is that Disney's not even entertaining this in the near future because of budget and all this stuff. So
yeah,
people didn't like it. Another thing people didn't like because they think it looks cheap from the concept art. It looks kind of really kid-like and kind of done already. A lot of people referring to the Toy Story Land over in Disney World. There's a new Toy Story hotel, I think at one of the, Chinese parks.
I think so too.
Or maybe Japan? I don't know.
Yeah.
In Asia, there is I know for sure, a Toy Story hotel. So people are kind of like, it's been done already. It's a tired concept. It looks cheesy. It looks dumb. It looks cheap, like a cheap overlay. So again, I'm not entirely sure I agree 100%. I think people are just mad with Disney just because it's fun to be mad at Disney all the time. It looked okay to me.
I think it looks great.
It looked fun.
When you're in California Adventure and you look over at Paradise Pier, the Paradise Pier Hotel.
Yeah.
If that was themed Toy Story, that would be so fitting.
And it would fit because it's right over the pier.
Yeah. And then for the people that are saying that it's kind of cheap and childlike, and Toy Story is an animation.
Yeah, so, a child's movie.
I don't think that it's more geared towards adults, period. I think the diehard Disney people would love it either way. It's a hotel that's themed, but at the same time, you can make the same argument as, okay, well, the Grand Californian isn't themed for children. But that place is still beautiful. So I don't know. I think it looks great. Toy Story Mania and Pixar Pier are very popular. So I don't see why this hotel wouldn't be.
I think it would be popular, and I think it'd be good. I think right now, Twitter and Disney social media in general is kind of fired up because of some other reasons, and they're taking it out on anything that comes out.
Yeah.
So,
well, on a positive note, it looks very colorful.
It does look
and
fun.
It looks cute.
Yeah, it looks fun. So anyways, potential Toy Story hotel coming to Disneyland. We'll see if Disney comes out and addresses this rumor.
Probably not anytime soon, though.
I don't think so either.
No.
I think there's a tight budget because of the pandemic. They lost a lot of money, and they're focusing on things like Tron opening up in East Coast, on the West Coast, expansion projects just to get crowd flow going. So I think there's more important things to be spending money on.
And the Star Cruiser just opened.
Yeah, they're focused on other things. So anyways, let's see if this thing comes out. But that wraps up our news, and we'll be diving into the main segment here in a second. All right, and that brings us to our main segment of this episode, and that is a little game we came up with, and let me explain kind of the rules around it and what we're doing. Not so much a game, but kind of, I don't know. There's a guessing game.
It's going to be fun.
And also not instructional, informative. That's the word I'm looking for. So we're both going to list our top 5 favorite attractions in Disneyland. Mm-hmm. California Adventure will be at a later episode. But so we're just going to stick to the Disneyland park itself. And the twist on this thing is we're not just going to share our top 5 and why. We will do that. But in the meantime, before the person that's sharing shares their favorite, the other party is going to guess what they think that is. So to start off, basically, you're going to share your 5th, right? So we're going to go, from not least favorite, but 5 to 1.
Yes.
And we'll kind of go up the list that way. You'll share, but before you share, I'm going to go, Caitlin, I think your number 5 is blank.
Blank.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did not, just to preface this, we did not cheat or anything. We haven't seen each other's lists. We made these separately earlier today and kind of made our own little list here. And I also made my list of what I think yours is.
I'm excited.
So let's start.
All right.
All right. But you know what? Before we start, we've got a little note, and it's totally off topic.
What?
But we're sitting here recording at nearly 11 p.m., and I'm wide awake.
I know.
It's because of stupid time change.
It's because we love Disney.
It's because we love Disney, and it's also because of stupid time change.
I know.
And some big news is that we might be sticking with one
Yeah.
for the rest of time.
But you want to know even better news?
What?
We're going to make cookies after this.
We are going to make cookies. Late night cookies are the best. So anyways, let's get back on task here, and let's share our top 5 attractions. So Caitlin, you're going to go first
Yes.
with number 5.
Yes.
But before you do that, I get to guess what I think it is.
Okay.
And see if we're right. So I think your number 5 is Jungle Cruise.
No.
Dang it. Okay, we start off with the loss, man. All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So my number 5 is Big Thunder Mountain.
Ooh.
And I wrote down a couple of reasons why. This ride is definitely one that I love, but it's one that I don't have to ride every time I'm at the park. So
Okay.
it's in the top 5 favorites, but it's one of those where I'm like, oh yeah, I love it. But if the line's super long, I'm like, maybe next time.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
I love when we're on that ride and I'm like slamming into you when we're turning corners and we have our hands up and just everyone I feel like on that ride is having a good time. So that's amazing. And then the last reason I would say that my favorite part is, do you know when you're going up that hill, like it's kind of towards the middle and when you get to the top was where the goat is.
Yeah.
You can see Galaxy's Edge.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like an overview. I love that part.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, so I'm glad you mentioned that. If I'm remembering correctly, I think they colored those the spires in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
So they knew you could see it from that ride. They colored them so it would kind of almost match some of the rocks that you can see while you're going down that hill.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they thought the color scheme, that's why it's a little lighter on the West Coast than the East Coast, is because it matches the Frontierland color palette a little more than the darker East Coast. So anyways, they thought of Big Thunder Mountain and saw that those yellowy orange rocks.
Yeah.
Anyways, they matched it, kind of tried to match a little bit of that color with Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, a little factoid there.
Well, that's great.
Well, cool. That's a solid pick.
Big Thunder. And we wrote it on our last trip to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me how much.
It's a great ride.
Because remember the trip prior to this one, it was down for refurb.
Closed. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Big Thunder's number 5.
Nice, solid pick. Okay, I respect it, and I was wrong. So I get to share my number 5 now, and why don't you guess what you think that is?
So I think your number 5 is Alice in Wonderland.
Wrong.
Dang it.
Wrong. Oh, my number 5 is Indiana Jones.
Oh.
Yeah, so used to be one of my favorite attractions, like top 3, easy. As I get older, and as I age, I'm an old, nearly 30-year-old male.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. I'm 20-something going on 50-something in
close to 30.
reality. Anyways, it throws me around a little too much, and I do get motion sick now on rides. I am getting old. I have to accept it. So this one gets me a little shaken up with those twists and turns. And you know why it kind of dropped on my list and I think it would be higher? It's broken all the time.
Yeah.
It's never running at 100%.
No.
Ever. So let me tell you why it's number 5 and not number 7 or something. Has probably the best queue in Disneyland history.
Oh, I totally agree.
Out of any ride I think I've ever been in, it has the best queue by far. So best theming, approaching the attraction, you've got a whole outside area that's themed very well. You've got the truck from the actual movie in front. That's another fact if you didn't know that. So that big, I think it's a Mercedes cargo truck. Mm-hmm. That was actually used in the filming of, was it the Raiders of the Lost Ark?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, so the first indie movie. And so that's a fun thing. The music playing is set in that time period, 30s, 40s. You've got, anyways, it's just fantastically themed. And the It's amazing. All around amazing. The ride itself, yeah, I don't enjoy as much as I once did, but I enjoy just waiting in line. Like, I don't mind waiting 45 minutes in that line because of how well themed it is.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's why it is in my number 5 spot.
All right. Well, I missed it.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's all right.
All right. So your number 4,
Yes.
I think is Winnie the Pooh.
No.
Gosh dang it.
Oh my gosh, we're terrible.
Yeah, we don't know each other at all.
No. So my number 4 is Pirates.
Dang it, really?
And this is going to be surprising, I thought, especially for you. Pirates is very nostalgic to me. It was my ultimate favorite ride growing up. So if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have been like, oh no, Pirates is my number 1. But currently, other than the nostalgia, my favorite part of that ride is just smelling the water right when you walk in. I know that's everyone's like, oh, smell the water. But like, I truly, like, that is one of the most magical experiences for me. And then when you are on the boat and you're going by like Blue Bayou and you can hear people just like talking and eating, just that whole ambiance of that part of the ride, it's just magic.
Yeah.
And of course, the waterfalls. I mean, my favorite one is the second one. I don't know why, but it's always been. Do you like the second one or the first one better?
Second.
I love the second one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's shorter. But
It's shorter,
I don't know if
but
everything. It's like
it's kind of like
you can see.
you can see,
not dark.
and it feels faster because I think you can see.
Yeah, and you get the full smell of the water.
Yeah.
Which I love. And then my favorite part of that ride, it might sound random, but do you know when you go through, you just pass the treasure scene and you're heading through that dark tunnel. You're heading towards the
ship scene.
The ship scene.
Mm-hmm.
But in between is that
The
dark
fight with the
tunnel,
cannonballs.
and you can hear the pirates,
Mm-hmm.
and there's that weird skull pirate guy on the left that
Yeah.
you can change.
Well, yeah. So you're passing by. There's now it's new.
Yeah.
So there's an octopus
Yeah, an octopus on the ground,
Yeah.
and then there's a guy holding like gold or something.
He's holding something. But yeah, when you pass by him on the left hand side, he looks like a normal guy.
Yeah.
And then when you pass by, it's like half.
It's like it
skeleton.
goes from skull and then to his face. The more you pass it, it's
Yeah.
it's Disney magic.
Disney magic.
Yeah, but that's my number 4.
Cool. That's a solid pick. I did not think it was going to be there. Okay. Wait, I didn't even have it on. Wow, I messed up. Okay, anyways.
That's all right.
Okay, my number 4.
Wait,
what do you
don't
think that is?
Oh, I was like, don't say it.
I'm not saying it.
So I actually think your number 4 is Pirates.
You are correct.
Yay!
You got one right.
Yeah. Okay,
Nice
perfect.
job. Okay, yeah, so number 4 is Pirates.
Yeah, and the
It's-
only reason I put that is because it's the last couple times we've been on it, it's been extremely hot, and Caleb does not like
I do not like being hot, and it used to be one of my favorite escapes in the summer because it was blasting AC. Not so much anymore. Don't know, again, if it's because of budget cuts or whatever. Again, they used to blow the AC, and they're like crazy, and it felt amazing. Now it's hot and muggy. They have a ton of smoke machines in that ride, so it aids in the humidity because that's a lot of moisture in the air. And I'm not a big fan of being hot, and it's slow moving, so I'm kind of stuck there for 10 minutes.
Right.
And I'm sweating. So, and again, especially with the pandemic and stuff, I felt like I need some moving air in here
Yeah.
because there's people breathing on
Right.
me. So that didn't help at all either. But yes, it has. It used to be, again, top 3, has dropped a little bit in recent years because not only is it just smoking hot the past year in the ride, it's because, again, it's down, not down all the time, but a lot of stuff is broken.
Yeah.
So you've got all the Jack Sparrows in there look pretty rough. Half of his features don't work.
Yeah.
You've got some of the scenes in the I think it's when the town's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few spinning wheels essentially with a couple, like
the
a
one
lady.
at the top.
Yeah, there's one that's just straight up not working. It's just
Right.
stagnant.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's a lot of stuff that's broken. And, but yeah, amazing ride. It features, I think, still to this day, the most animatronics
Oh, by
featured
far. Yeah.
in a ride. It's a classic. It's the last ride that Walt Disney worked on before he passed away. And unfortunately didn't get to see it when it was finished, but it was something he had his hands in. So it just screams classic Disney entertainment.
Yeah. I
So
love it.
it's impressive, just the sheer magnitude of the project, and I just appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go to your number 3.
Yeah. Let's do
Okay,
it.
so I think your number 3 is Rise of the Resistance.
No.
My gosh. Okay, all right.
So my number 3 is actually very special to me. It is Haunted Mansion.
Oh, what?
And I love Haunted Mansion. And I have an explanation for this, which I will go in deep in a second. But it almost was my number 2. but for certain reason, it landed at number 3.
Okay, why?
I sound like a hardcore critic, and I'm really not. Oh, geez. I don't know.
Wait, why do you sound like a critic?
Because I feel like I'm like, well, if it would have been this, it would have been number 2.
We didn't even share what it was
I
yet.
know. I'm laughing at myself because I sound so. So number 1, I love the stretching room. I love when you basically hear, is this haunted room actually stretching? It just makes me like, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting filled with magic right when I hear that. I'm like, this is it. I'm on Haunted Mansion. Like, the excitement is just boiling. And then when you're walking down the hallway and you're seeing all the portraits change, and you get to the end of the hallway and you see the the face statues like turning.
They're following you.
Super creepy.
Yeah.
And then one of my other favorite parts of the ride is the graveyard scene. I've always loved that since I was little. However, I would have to say, and again, I don't know how all of you guys feel, my favorite part of Haunted Mansion is the holiday overlay. So with Jack Skellington. And I recently just figured out that I liked the holiday version over the normal version. I know.
That's some.
And I feel like if Jack Skellington was year round, I feel like it would have been a number 2. I don't know if this is just recent or what's going on, but in my mind right now, it's my favorite. With the holiday overlay, I love the way the mansion looks outside with the sleigh and just in the clock, and you see just everything, like the big pumpkin with the Santa hat in the grass. And then when you get inside, one of my favorite songs is the one where it goes la 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 la, and it's like the 3 kids. I don't know, they're not kids. What were they? They're Oogie Boogies.
There are kids. They're his little like henchmen, his little like sidekicks.
La, la, la. I love that. I always sing it during Christmas, and Caleb's always like, "Oh gosh." And then one of our favorite things about Haunted Mansion Holiday is the gingerbread house. We love smelling the gingerbread house and seeing what they do. Last year's was really cool. Remember, they had like this celebration of all the different years that they created.
Yeah. It was
that.
Yeah, it was the anniversary of the overlay.
Yes.
Not 25, was it?
No, but it was like multiple years. So they took multiple years, like celebration wise, and they added it into one throughout the years.
Yeah, I think they took inspiration from all of them that they've done and did it into one.
But
you can smell that gingerbread when you go in that area. Yeah. No, it's a great attraction.
Do you prefer regular or the holiday one?
I mean, it's hard. It changes. I think if I had to absolutely pick, I'd probably pick classic.
Really?
Yeah. But I'll share it now. I'll share that story now. Okay. So the original voice of the Haunted Mansion is Paul Frees. Mm-hmm. Classic, again, like superhero in the voiceover community. But we actually met the gentleman who does the voice of the holiday version. So
the ghost host, right?
Yes, the ghost host. Mm-hmm. So let me actually look up his name. I forgot. I feel bad.
We met. So Caleb is he's more of a Disney freak than I am. We were in line for Mr. Toad's, and he's kind of like looking at the sky, and I'm kind of like, what are you doing? And he's like, I know that guy. And every time he would speak, Caleb's like, I know his voice. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, like maybe it's on a podcast or something.
Yeah, we were in line at Toad's. And Caitlin's right. I was hearing him talk, and I'm like, man, that guy's got like you can just tell when people do voiceover work, when they're in radio. I work in media, and so I'm around a lot of people that have very rich voices, and you can be like, that guy was on radio at one point, or he does a podcast or something, whatever. So I knew this guy. I was like, man, he's got a deep, just strong voice, but he wasn't like talking loud or anything. But anyways, I recognized him, and his voice helped that. And I said, this guy, I know him from somewhere. His name's Corey Burton. Mm-hmm. And he is the voice of many attractions in the Disneyland park. He did some of the voices. I think he said in Toads. They did they had to redo some of the voices, he said.
Oh, wow.
And anyways, we rode this ride. Oh, sorry. He's the voice of Ghost Host in the Holiday Edition.
The Holiday, yeah.
Because when they did that, Paul Frees has since passed.
Yeah.
And so couldn't get him back. So anyways, this guy does a fantastic Paul Frees-like voice. And so he did the voice for the holiday overlay over at Haunted Mansion. So anyways, after riding the ride, we waited till he was done and pulled him aside and said, hey, are you Mr. Corey Burton or whatever? And he was like, yeah. He was kind of taken aback. How do you know me? And I said, I'm just kind of a Disney freak and have way too much time on my hands. Yeah. And anyways, I saw multiple YouTube videos with you at some D23 events and just recognized your voice in you. in the park, and he was just so excited that someone kind of recognized him and said, wow, no one really recognizes me in the park. Good job, kind of thing.
He was so sweet.
Very sweet guy. Took a picture.
I'll have to find the picture.
Yeah, we have to share it on Instagram.
It was from a long time ago.
Yeah. We talked for a while. He took 10 minutes to talk to us. So anyways, fantastic human being, but a fun kind of connection to the Haunted Mansion. So is it my turn to share? You did number... Yeah. Where are we at?
We're at number 3, so I think I'm going to say what I think.
My number 3 is. You got
it. I'm already wrong. I thought you had Indiana Jones as your number 3.
Wrong-o.
So what is your number 3?
My number 3 is Alice in Wonderland.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sorry. Classic Fantasyland ride. I love the movie. And it's kind of a weird reason why. I don't think I loved it growing up. I liked it. I think I watched it multiple times, as a kid does, right? Watching Disney movies. I would actually watch Alice in Wonderland when I'd come home from work at a part-time job in high school at a bank. I think I was at the bank. And I worked, I think it was Saturday. On Saturdays, I'd get up and work a half day because the bank closed at like 1 o'clock.
Right.
I'd come home, make some like corn dogs or something.
I was going to say, it has to be corn dogs.
I love corn dogs. Yeah. Gluten-free, of course. And would eat that. And then I'd actually, this is not a good, this is not a good selling point of the movie or whatever, but I would actually put Alice in Wonderland and I'll almost have it on the background so I'd fall asleep to it. I'd take a nap.
Really?
A midday
so
Saturday
it's a calming movie.
It is.
Okay.
So it's like my safe space.
Yeah.
So I love Alice in Wonderland, the film, because I would just watch it all the time and fall asleep to it, taking a nap after my hard work day at the bank. And so it has a kind of special place in my life. And so the ride just embodies that entire movie perfectly. I know it's a fantasy, or I'm sort of like a dark ride. It's not super fancy, doesn't have a ton of technology in it, but it's just special enough and kid-like enough to be like, I feel safe. Like, it's just a fun ride.
Yeah, no, I love the ride.
It's great.
And you get to go outside on top of that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's random. It's bizarre. The movie's weird. The book's even weirder. But it's just a fun attraction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love that you love it. It's great.
So we ride it. We try and ride it every time. It does get a little long. Like if the ride's like an hour plus, I usually skip it.
Oh yeah.
But it is a fun, and it's an old Fantasyland ride. So you get those switchbacks are so tight.
They're very tight.
So you're on top of multiple people.
And it's all outside. So if the weather's hot.
If you're baking out there. Yeah. So anyways, it's a fantastic ride. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're down to number 2.
Number 2.
All right. So this is your turn. I thought it was, which you just stated, it was at number 3. I thought it was Haunted Mansion.
Oh, okay.
So I thought Haunted Mansion was number 2.
Okay. So my number 2 is actually Indiana Jones.
What the heck?
Yes. Which is hilarious because when I first did this episode or the podcast with you, I said that it was my favorite ride.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
And like I said to all of our fellow listeners, it depends on my mood.
Oh my gosh.
So, I know Caleb already touched on this, but the queue in that line is absolutely amazing. It's my favorite, I think, in all of Disneyland. It's so themed and you literally feel like you're in the jungle going into a temple. Even though Caleb says that he thinks he's an old man and can't handle the ride, I love getting whipped around. I have a smile on my face the entire time and my hair's flinging everywhere.
You like being disoriented and your back hurting.
It's so fun because you're like trying to hold on and I love it. I love it. I have a smile the whole time.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's a great ride. And it belongs high up on anyone's list, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 2. What do you think?
I'm going to say Haunted Mansion.
Wrong.
I know.
That's right. Yeah.
Thanks.
My number 2 is, how do you know? How do you know it's not my number 2?
I don't know.
Oh, you said you're like, I know. And I was like, darn.
Didn't you already say Haunted Mansion?
No, you said Haunted Mansion.
I said Haunted Mansion.
Good grief. I was like, wait, what? Did you peek? No, my number 2 is Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic ride.
Okay, I'm very curious what your number 1 is.
Get out.
No.
You'll find out in a second. Rise of the Resistance. It's technologically a marvel. Like it is I cannot understand for the life of me how these people how the Imagineers pulled this off, and engineers and whoever was involved, right? It is a amazing ride. And it's not even, I wouldn't even say a ride, it's an event.
Oh yeah.
It is an attraction. Again, Disney calls their stuff attractions for that exact reason. It's not so much a ride, it's an experience, right? This is an attraction. This is like the modern day, I don't know. This is their best thing they've made in a long time.
Yeah. It's
So,
like they put the Disney seal on it. Like
it
the
is-
gold. It's
Holy smokes. Again, it's finicky. It breaks down a lot.
But even when it breaks down, they have substitute scenes.
Yeah, but
they
no, there's
put-
straight up times when you just can't get on.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it
okay.
breaks down like 5 times a
I
day.
meant like when the ride's still going.
Sure,
and
sure.
stuff.
Yeah, there is time. So yeah, that is a cool thing they did. They know that rides break down often, right? Imagineers do that. And so they did build some B mode. Sorry. So there's like A mode, right? Which is the regular attraction, how you're supposed to experience it.
Yeah.
Then there's the B mode where they can actually cover up. I've seen it before. They'll cover up like an animatronic that's not working. And it's almost like a screen, like a projection part, or it'll just kind of, or your eyes just kind of glaze over it and you don't notice that there's a broken thing there. So overall, technology here is just put on display. So fantastic ride, different ride vehicles. You've got straight up trackless ride system, which is impressive in itself. And it's not like the original ones where it's really slow. Like Ratatouille's an example of a trackless ride system, but it's really slow. Like it doesn't, and this was one of the first ones they've ever made over in Paris, and Disney World just got it. And they couldn't do a lot with it because it was brand new, and they didn't want things smacking into each other and breaking. But anyways, they have it down because Rise whips around, it goes fast, and it's all done with...
And it's smooth.
Yeah, smooth. And it's all done with sensors in the content.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into detail of how it's done. But anyways, you've got animatronics in this thing. You've got tasteful projections, right?
Oh, yeah.
When it has to be, they use it, and it's done well. A fantastic queue. Straight up, you're waiting in a star... what do you call those things? Not a star cruiser, but the... yeah, like
I was trying to figure that out earlier, too.
Imperial...
It's some type of ship.
A ship.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Starship.
Man, I'm bad. I'm a bad Star Wars fan. Anyways, yeah, you're in a starship.
You're in a galactic star cruiser.
Anywho, yeah, the galactic star cruiser. You're in a spaceship, and yeah, that's part of the ride line. You're waiting to get into a separate part of the line, and you have all these stormtroopers and a giant hangar. It is amazing. A TIE fighter hanging off the wall. So, anyways, it uses multiple, and you got a drop ride vehicle in there. It is unbelievable. So, anyways, just off technology alone, and I love Star Wars right now. I'm just on a Star Wars kick.
Yeah.
Rise of the Resistance has to be number 2.
All right.
I went off there a little bit. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Are we at number 1?
Yes.
All right, we've made it.
We've made it.
So I got this wrong already, and now I think I know what it is. But I guessed Indiana Jones, but this was on my notes. I think it's probably Rise.
It is Rise.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, that's why I was very quiet when you were talking.
Yeah. Darn it.
Rise of the Resistance is, Caleb's already said, is out of this world to me. I know he touched on a few of my points already, so I'm just going to briefly go over them. The queue is my favorite. I love that you go through all those rooms with the clothing and like the Star Wars guns, equipment things. And one of the most impressive parts is that room. Once you get off that ship that you were talking about, you enter that room with the stormtroopers, and that screen that makes it look like you're looking into the galaxy. That thing looks real. And when we were watching...
It is real.
Yes.
You're in space.
When we were watching... What was that movie?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, which is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Oh, don't say that.
I have to say
Don't say that.
They deserve to know the truth.
Oh, gosh.
That scene was in the movie, and I remember, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's like the ride.
Yeah.
And I didn't even put 2 and 2 together because obviously the ride wasn't built.
Yes.
But it was just so cool seeing that.
I will say, as a Star Wars fan, that scene has been done over and over again.
I know, but I don't watch them like you do.
I understand. So like in the original movies a million times, right? Darth Vader makes his grand appearance in a hangar just like that with stormtroopers lined up. So it's kind of a thing. J.J. Abrams did take a lot of course, inspiration from the originals and kind of replicated that there. So anyways, yes, agreed. Mm-hmm. It's a cool
beautiful.
room. It's cool.
I love it.
I love it.
And then a couple other of my favorite parts. Caleb thinks I'm such a fangirl, but for those who don't know, I love Kylo Ren. And I love Rey. So anything with Kylo...
Do you love Kylo Ren or do you love Adam Driver?
I love Kylo. And I love Adam Driver. I don't know. I love the character. I don't know why. Like, if you were to ask me, and for all you Star Wars nerds, I'm sorry, I like Kylo more than Darth Vader.
Okay. All right, end of podcast.
He's just cooler.
Thanks for joining us. I'm sorry things didn't work out.
You have to admit he's cooler. His lightsaber...
No. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Darth Vader is the most iconic villain in film history.
You know what? He's dead.
All you have to hear is the...
No, but...
and you know who it is. What does Kylo do that you know who it is?
His voice, his lightsaber,
Rey.
and
You're wrong. You're wrong.
And Kylo is a man because he takes his mask off. Darth Vader just keeps himself covered the whole time.
He can't take it off because he would die.
It's not my fault Hayden Christensen got burnt on the side of the...
No, we're going to have to
just kidding.
agree to disagree on that
kidding.
one.
Okay, so really quick, briefly, my favorite...
What's the matter with you?
One of my favorite parts of the ride is when Kylo's lightsaber goes through the elevator shaft when you're going down in the ride. Love that part. The first time we saw that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, that is the coolest thing.
How did they do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the ride, do you know when Kylo, he's like standing on that stage by himself? It's like right at the end. And he's trying to get that secret out of you or whatever he was looking for throughout the whole ride. And he uses the Force to like bring you in towards him. And you kind of jerk forward. Mm-hmm. I love that part.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know why. And then you mentioned the whole elevator escape pod. That first time we did that drop, that was the coolest experience.
The heck out of me.
I loved it. So that's my favorite part of the whole ride. But it's just...
That's a great ride.
And that Kylo's in it.
Kylo Ren. I love Kylo Ren. That's fine. Whatever. I love Rey. Rey's awesome.
Yeah. I love Rey too. You know what? Honestly, if we were to go in full theme and go do like the Galactic Star Cruiser, I would totally dress as Rey.
That'd be awesome.
And I'd want you to dress as Kylo.
Yeah, I'm also not 6 foot something and jacked like Adam Driver.
It's okay.
Swole Kylo. Anyways, let's get to my number one because that's what the people have been waiting for.
They have, but unfortunately, I'm sad because I got it wrong. I thought it was going to be Rise.
You're wrong.
So what is your number one?
Haunted Mansion. That's been my number one for years.
I'm not surprised.
It is a fantastic attraction.
It's more nostalgia.
It's classic because it's Disneyland. Rise is fantastic.
I get it.
And it wasn't fair because I was like, if one didn't exist, I know East Coast has both of these attractions, but in my head, it's more unique to Disneyland because, again, it is one of the last attractions that Walt Disney did work on.
Yeah.
Second to last, I believe. And it had all this mystery around it surrounding before it opened. They built that building and didn't have it finished yet, and they didn't even know if it was going to be a walkthrough where you like literally walked through it with your feet,
right?
Or if they were going to create an attraction. So they had this sign posted that was informing people like pretty soon there's going to be this haunted mansion opening, and there's all these spirits in there, and they're uneasy or they're
materialized.
Yeah, so it was just really cool. And it was up there for like I think a year or two. And people were like, what is this attraction going to be? So I think I like the history involved with it. I like that it was the first ride vehicle, the Omnimover, the first time they ever used it. And they're able to get, it was a feat in, I think, theme park history and being able to load that many people on an hour. It was one of the first of its kind. So anyways, I think you're right. There's nostalgia involved in it. There's just kind of cool effects in there. I usually am a baby when it comes to creepy, scary things. I usually hate that stuff. You like scary movies. Mm-hmm. I'm not a giant fan. I watch them because you like them. And again, this, I think, just threads the needle perfectly between scary and creepy and also kind of fun. You've got singing, talking heads, man.
Right.
I mean, it's just, it threads the needle perfectly.
It's not over the top or anything.
It's not terrifying for children. There's a couple scary parts, but it's also not so stupid and kind of where you don't buy into that it is a haunted mansion. So amazing attraction. The attic scene, the graveyard scene. Again, the sheer amount of animatronics. You've got the Hatbox Ghost in there now.
Yeah.
With a fantastic feature. So anyways, I love the ride. I love the queue. And yeah, you've already mentioned the queue and the cool parts in there.
Yeah.
So it's a fun attraction. And again, it changes throughout the year.
It's true. Well,
right?
Haunted Mansion Holiday.
I know. So again, Haunted Mansion it embodies the whole thing.
Yeah. I I mentioned this to you our last trip. The creepiest part of that ride is that clock.
Oh,
that one that goes to like 13. It looked like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of weird, but it has like
hand going down.
Yeah.
Like the shadow.
Well, yeah, it's on. It says it's like
on 13.
13 o'clock, where 12 should be. It's like 13.
Yeah. And it's like that weird hand going down like a shadow. That part is creepy.
It's a very weird part of the ride. And again, it's quick enough to where kids probably won't notice it, but adults are like, ooh, that's eerie. That's a weird looking clock. Yeah. So anyways, that's our list. We finished it.
We did okay. We did pretty good.
You got 1 point and I got 0. I don't think I did terrible.
You got 1, I think.
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's all right.
I got 0.
It's okay.
I don't know you as well as I thought I did. But no, that was a fun time. And yeah, we learned a little bit more about each other today.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
I'm looking forward to kicking your butt at the DCA one.
Wow. All right. Fighting words going on here. Anyways, my co-host is wrong about Darth Vader and Kylo Ren. I apologize if you had to listen to that, and you can totally write in and tell her how wrong she is.
You know what? No, we're going to take this to Instagram. I need you guys to comment on one of... You pick the picture, whatever. Tell me who you like better, Darth Vader or Kylo.
No.
And we're going to settle this on the gram.
I think it's going to be unanimous Darth Vader because people with an appreciation for Star Wars is Darth Vader. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. That brings us to the end of this episode after that riveting conversation. You can find us on Instagram at Market House Podcast. And make sure to follow us there for things like this. Hopefully, you can interact with us on there. And,
yes, please.
Yeah, we post about our pictures, about our trips to the park, and they are pictures we have taken on our trips.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you take about 17,000 pictures when we go.
Yes, they're all for the gram. And you know what? We've been doing some reels, and
it's fun.
I love it.
You're doing
such
a great
fun
job.
time.
Doing a great job.
Thank you.
And consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please, on Apple Podcasts, you can do a written review. On Spotify, it's just I think, star rating. Yeah. And that would be appreciated. It would help us kind of pop up on that search a little higher.
Yeah, we're still looking for our first one.
Yeah, and looking just for some honest feedback. So we'd love to hear from you. Yeah. And if it's mean, yeah, you may cause me to cry a little bit, but that's okay. I'd like to hear it. Yeah, that's it. That's the episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time.
Yeah.
On Market House.
Looking forward to it.
Have a great week.